Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
After 2 seasons of heresy, Paramount decided to cancel the Halo TV show.
The weight of your heresy will stay your feet, and you shall be left behind.
To Halo fans, this is good news, but it seems Microsoft still has plans to shop it around to other streaming services to keep it going. I want to go on record and say that years ago when Xbox first announced that they would be making a live-action Halo TV show, I was undoubtedly very hyped. I waited for the first reviews to come out before I watched it because I tend to be very cautious about new media these days. When it finally came to fruition, I couldn't believe just how poorly written and received it was. I made a video a few months back trashing the show even though I've never watched it for myself, and to this day I've still not seen a single episode. I'm really glad I never wasted any of my precious time watching it because the series was just a massive slap in the face to anybody who's loved this franchise over the years. What inspired me to make that video a few months ago about the Halo TV show in the first place was a guy at my work. We were discussing video games and movies and such while working, and he mentioned to me that he was enjoying the Halo show. This coworker had never played the games before, so he was only taking the show at face value and liked it for what it was. I can't say I blame him, because if I try to step back and put myself into someone's shoes who's never become acquainted with the games or novels, even I can admit that the show's story on paper sounds pretty decent.
Take care, Arbiter. What you say is heresy.
But that would only be if there wasn't an entire universe built up for the past 25 years to this point. We then began discussing it, and I told him that the series doesn't follow the games and is quite the middle finger to the franchise as a whole. He then started asking me questions about how the show differed from the games and novels, and I showed him cutscenes from the games. He became interested to play the MCC thereafter and has since told me that the game story was far and away better than the TV show, but he still likes the show. But you know, that's okay. Having bad taste isn't a crime. In the midst of Halo fans celebrating, there seems to be another section of the viewer base disappointed that the series has been cancelled, and it looks like this portion of the viewers were people who'd never really played the games in the past or had little experience with the IP until they watched the show. This only reaffirms to me that Paramount had a broad target audience for the show and didn't really care whether longtime fans of the franchise liked it or not. After all, you can't make a show about Halo, reveal the Master Chief's face at the very beginning, or at all really, have this crazy sexual crap in the show including John sleeping with a Covenant informant and showing his bare ass, and just slapping the non-canon sticker over it and expecting Halo fans to be okay with it. Like, what is even the story direction at this point? Maybe going forward, Xbox can look at other successful video game adaptation shows and try to emulate what they've done. You know, like, be faithful to the universe they're making a show about. The Fallout community seems to be pleased with their TV series, but I haven't seen it yet. And The Last of Us is just 10 out of 10. Chef's kiss. I enjoyed every minute of that series. It's very simple, Xbox. If you want to make a good show that Halo fans actually like, just listen to them. Follow the established lore, don't try to deviate from the stories that have already been told because we already love them. You don't necessarily need to retread over the games again in the TV show format. If they're done well, that's fine, but it's alright to tell more stories within the Halo universe. This is something I said in my last video about the show. There's hundreds of thousands of years worth of time in the series to write a narrative. Why not do a story about the Forerunner Flood War? How about follow a group of insurrectionists that encounter Spartans for the very first time and get their asses kicked? You could do a whole season about Contact Harvest. What about a season that follows Johnson during his early days and gives some more insight into the Orion project? There's an endless number of storytelling possibilities that Halo fans have been frothing at the mouth to see for a long time now. Hell, every season could be its own story arc. They could make a season for every game that's been made so far. Maybe a season that strictly follows the Covenant that documents their campaign during the Human Covenant War. Arbiter could be the main protagonist. It doesn't necessarily have to be him. It could be anybody. If this series does get picked up somewhere else, I only hope that instead of making a third season of the same show, they start fresh and create something faithful to the series as it stands. But as for now, we can breathe a sigh of relief that this abomination is gone. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you hated it, leave a dislike. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing to the channel. What do you think of what I said in this video? Do you like the show or do you hate it? Do you agree with what I said? Let me know in the comments section below. I always love to read what you guys have to say. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.